Welcome. I'm working again in my Cherry Blossom Altered Book Journal. I really must be suffering from cherry blossoms on the brain, but I am loving working in this book, and today I'm going to be working here. So before I began recording, I attached this piece of collage, and now I'm going to attach this one. And the reason I'm working in this one today is because I found this little bird on this lovely piece of blue and white china in a magazine, and it was preying on my mind, so I attached it to this piece of collage. And now I'm going to add it to this page. And then I'm thinking that I shall have some little bit of watercolor fun in the spaces left over. But now, let me fold this under. But now I'm going to get this sweet little puffy little bird attached. And when I glue my glue stick my pieces of collage down, and I'm doing it on a torn edge, I always work from the center of the piece out to the torn edge and over the edge. It's just a method that I have found that works well for me. Then I'm going to put a good bit of glue stick in there, and then I have a little mild outline of the piece on my on my page 206. So I'm going to add just a bit more glue stick on the page itself. And make sure that that line that bowl is on, this line is parallel to the bottom, and a little bit more glue stick over there, because it is kind of around the edge on this piece. So I'm going to plop my dollar store cutting board chunk in there and let that be closed. And then I'm going to prepare some of my watercolors. I've got now two of my Jane Davenport boxes, because one has blueberry, another has butterfly and 50s eyeshadow, and a couple of pinks that I like. So I've gotten out my Princeton Neptune number 10, and I believe I'm going to use some Fairy Tale and put it over here so that it will be ready for me. And then I think I'm going to use all of the shades of blue. butterfly. And 70s eyeshadow. And a little of the mermaid, a little bit of the mermaid green, and I'm going to mix it with the Jiminy. I certainly don't need too much because there isn't too much room around those pieces of collage, so move these over and open up again. I'm going to put in just some light suggestions. And one more, maybe over here. Then I'm going to go to this one. And some more. Well, I don't know. Maybe not. Let's try to put down a little of this pink. Oh, definitely put some more up here. And a little more on here. And a little bit of the, increase some of the depth of this blue. Some pink. And let's see about a little bit of the, just a spot of green. I'm going to want some more green, so I'm going to, there we go. Maybe a little bit more over here. Checking to make sure that I'm not having any good. I'm glad that I glued 2 pages together. a little bit of this other green. And one more. I think I might have done better not to use these Princeton Neptunes because they certainly hold an awful lot of water. Let's see what I can do about this now to get some of that out of there. Thirsty brush might help a little bit. Well, these are quite wet, so I'm going to let these heavily wet spots with the pigment of the watercolor dry so that I can decide where I'm going to go next. Well, this piece has had a chance to dry thoroughly, and the really wet spots on the watercolor have dried also and left a darker, richer area in each of these flowers, which I'm very happy about. And now I'm back to using my Aquarelle Stabilo 8008 pencil to relax some of the edges of the large pieces of collage. In fact, I'm going to make sure that I get a little bit under the bird tail there, because it reaches out past the rest of the collage paper. That's a little bit better. Now I'm going to go into my handy dandy pen collection, and I'm going to get out my Ultra Micro Signo Uniball and work a little bit on Birdie's eyes and beak, just to make them stand out just a little bit more. Yes. Now I'm thinking that I'm going to outline him very lightly in this extremely fine pen, so that he will stand out a little bit from the background. Just a bit over his head. Let me get out a piece of paper so that I don't smudge what I've already done. This very fine dollar pad from Dollar Tree is just perfect for this sort of job. See if I want to pick out these tail feathers a little bit. I think I do. I'm hardly touching this pen to this paper because I don't want it to overwhelm. And yet I do want to pick out some more of his feathers. I'm wondering if I shouldn't do some of these dark wing feathers too. Or am I just having so much fun that I don't seem to want to stop? That could be the bottom line on this. Let's get a little closer to his face now. Alrighty, I believe we're going to call that, whoops, going to call that mission accomplished. Yes, I think that's just enough there. Now, let me cover him up. Now I think I'll use this light area. And this light area. To pick out some petals. And there we go. Now I'm going to doodle like this on these painted flowers, and then I'll have a think about what other doodling I might want to add. Even though I'm using ultra fine, it is still possible to add some depth here. Alrighty. Let's see what happens down here. Same concept as I did at the top, and then I'll get back to think about this, because I think this is going to get a little fun too, just because I am having so much fun. The bottom line about our art. Now, as you can see, I'm having great fun just outlining the collage to see how much or how little fun I'm going to have here. And this one. And this one. This is turning out to be absolutely delicious fun. Oops. I'm loving these pink leaves that I'm seeing. How nice. Oops, I think that's a dark one. Oh, I think I'm going to add another one. Going to just add a little bit more doodling to these, and I'm going to stop because I think I want to call this less is more. And around the outside to give this add-on a little bit of configuration. Yes, yes. Forgot these. There they are. I think I'm going to leave the leaves alone here. Just add a little bit more line work probably to these and here and here. That's my plan. Let's see if I stick to it, because this gets addictive so quickly for me. Especially over this nice smooth magazine paper. Rework the top of this again. All right, I will return after I help these out a little bit. Well, I believe that this play in my cherry blossom journal has been just a delight. It is a very dark, it almost looks like night, dreary, rainy day in Florida. So this has been a lovely start to the day. The piece of collage paper that I added certainly had every possible bit of doodle starting that I could possibly wish for, and that was great fun. There we go. My ultramarine StazOn doesn't get used too often, but for times like this, it certainly does the job nicely. If you have enjoyed watching this process, please give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, share with a friend, and I would certainly appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel. I'm glad that even though I used large pieces of collage in this small altered book, I can still see some of the Japanese characters peeking through. And there's my pretty blue bird. And a little bit more of the characters, particularly behind these watercolor flowers. Bye now.